Ryan Kenny.
Alana Dunn.
Welcome to Seeing Other People.
Thank you.
You just did the opposite of what I asked. I said, hold the mic where you're going to hold it. We tested
Alana
the audio
Dunn.
up here, and now you're like, Alana Dunn. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bounce back from that one. I'm gonna be totally honest.
Nope. This is why we do that. How are you doing today?
I'm terrific.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Everyone is very excited for me to be here.
Are they excited or nervous?
That's actually such a same emotion,
Uh-huh.
but you just experience it in different contexts.
Oh, interesting.
I am both.
Uh-huh.
My mom is both. My girlfriends are just excited. My guy friends are more nervous.
Girlfriends.
Yes.
You're single.
You're
not single.
Not like poly.
Okay.
Like friends that are girls.
You are single.
Yes.
Okay.
Extremely.
Ha. Are your DMs open? Let's start there.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a public profile at the _Ryan_Kenny. No big deal. It's fine.
Okay. You're the Ryan Kenny.
Yes.
The one and only.
The only one.
Aspiring comedian or comedian? How do you define yourself?
I mean, when I'm going on stage, I'm trying to start saying, like, in my routine, like, being a professional comic. Like,
hell yeah.
Being a pro, doing this and that, just to even give people the, like, perception of it. But no, I mean, I sell podcast advertising. Tried to do it for her. It didn't work out, which is okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We're all in great places.
It's a good hobby to have, though.
Totally.
Or it's a red flag.
That is very true.
Yeah.
It depends who you ask. I think there are a lot of people who have been burned by, like, let's say, like a person in a category, and comedian would certainly fall under that category and they would run the other direction.
Yeah.
However, it's also a really big green flag for a lot of people.
Yes.
You can, I don't know why it's a green flag. I'm sorry. I was gonna try.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Seriously, it just came out of my mouth. But no, people like, I think it's one of two things. One, people think I'm just gonna be like completely unhinged, or like completely emotionally unavailable, or just like super depressed.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if anything, like specifically when I'm on stage, but even my day-to-day life, it's like I'm so not like depressed or anything like that. So I think that's part of the beauty, where it's like people have this idea, and then I try to like be the exact opposite, just because that's like who I am naturally. But at the same time, the number of women that I'll match with that are just like, oh my God, another comedian. Like, what's my therapist going to say? I'm like, I don't know. We're not going to match. Like, I don't know.
Right. Like, how many comedians are you actually going out with?
Also, like, what a way to start a conversation.
Right.
Like, what's my therapist going to say about you? Like, I don't even know your last name. What are you talking about?
That is a weird way in, for sure. No, I do think actually there are, honestly, in all truth, like a lot of green flags that come with what you're trying to do. You're someone who can put yourself out there. You can be self-deprecating. Like, you're aware of your flaws and you're not afraid to like talk about them. You'll talk about things that a lot of people won't talk about. You can, like, I mean, the ability to get up in front of a room full of people and try and make them laugh. That's like the scariest thing in the world to do.
I appreciate it. You should try it.
I do not want to.
There's a class at the Comedy Cellar. I could send you the info. I think you'd like it a lot. And it's all amateurs. It's everyone in your class you perform in front of.
That would be really good for me, because I'm still to this day
You could use it for content.
I'm terrified of public speaking.
More people are scared of that than dying. Which is like, do you know what dying is? You won't even have to public speak if you're dead.
Is that a proven fact?
It was a proven fact when I started doing stand-up. At least, like, I saw it on Google. Has to be real. And so I think it's real. I mean, I get it, because I think someone would be like, oh, I'm dying. I can't control that. But, like, I have to control being in front of 50 people speaking or not.
Yeah.
Syracuse, I think, helped with that. We did a lot of public speaking, at least in my classes.
What was your major?
Double in
okay, big shot.
Business management and marketing.
Okay.
So I was always doing like presentations and stuff.
I was not. I was television, radio, film, and music business. And I always loved talking about my Syracuse experience, because I'm like, yeah, it wasn't like study for this test. It was like, make this music video. Yeah. It wasn't write this
We didn't
essay.
all get that lucky.
It was write this screenplay. And like, that was awesome. And I'm proud to say that like most of the things I learned in college, I actually use now.
I was going to say you're one of the only people I know that it
Yeah.
actually like apply. Except if you went to like medical school or something, but like
Yes.
most people.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I did do like public speaking. I don't know. I did it in high school. Like I taught health to students every single day my
In
senior
high
year. In high school, I got up in front of a classroom and taught the New York State health curriculum to sophomore students.
How are they doing now? Are they healthy? Are they objectively healthy?
That's a great question. I'll have to do
My health teacher was a 500-pound woman,
Oh.
which is ironic.
Yeah.
More and like no offense.
But
It's
like
just
you're not talking about like weight. You're talking about
a lot
like,
of it was before
Really?
my high school started in 8th grade. So they kind of started young. So literally the first parts were like diet, exercise. But it's like a blind person teaching you how to drive a car. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I can see how that can be tough, especially with like kids.
Respect
like,
Miss
at that
Savani
age.
too, by the way. She was a
Yeah.
legend.
Yeah. I was teaching like sexual health and like why you shouldn't drink and drive.
Important. Yeah, very
Many would
important.
say it is. But no, I mean, to this day, and people are so shocked when I tell them I'm afraid of public speaking. They're like, you do it for a living. I'm like, no, this is private speaking.
This in a way, this is different. Like we know each
So,
other, but
yeah.
this in a way stresses me out more. And I've said this to people where it's like, if I'm doing a show, I'll do a bar show that's like literally 4 or 5 people. That's like a speed dating event. And I'm getting up there and I'm saying ridiculous things compared if it's a room of like, you know, if I'm doing the comic strip on July 8th. I'll see you guys all there.
Hey.
Big audition. If it's like
Wait,
250
is that the one
people.
right up here?
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll send you the
July
info.
8th?
Yes.
Wait, I want to come.
You should.
I will.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Cool.
And you'll see it's like when there's a room of like 200 people, one laugh is like turns into a bunch of laughs,
yeah.
which is fine. And then if you say something and it kind of doesn't land, I think it's a little easier to keep going just because it's like, think about when you're on a date. Like you say one thing and like they don't really respond. You start sweating.
Mhm.
So it's the same exact thing in comedy or just like in life.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you this. Have you learned, or not have you learned, because I'm sure you have, like,
Very generous guy.
oh, he just picked up the bone for Barkley. Chivalry.
Done.
It's alive.
It's not dead. I have a twin sister.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's another thing we'll talk about. We're
Here
going to
we
do like
go.
a 5-part series.
Here we go.
What have you learned from being a stand-up comedian? What have you learned about dating? Like, how have you applied that to dating?
I have learned absolutely nothing.
Oh, okay.
I mean, absolutely nothing. Like it's other than, and that's not like a discredit to people that I've gone on dates with or anything, but I think it's like, it's not like everything that you do in life, you necessarily learn something that would then apply to another part of your life. I think sometimes you just learn how it applies to like what you're doing in that moment.
Okay.
I mean, the only thing I guess I could say is you deal with rejection more. And like I cold call for a living. So it's like I'm already kind of used to that. But I think maybe the only thing would be like if you say something on a date, whether it's a joke or something about yourself even, that like they clearly don't appreciate, like whatever. I guess you kind of just got to keep rolling with the punches.
Right.
But it's more awkward on a date because then it's like, this is like personal.
Yeah.
It's not like someone in an audience that's just like not laughing. It's like, oh, fuck. Like, I'll just get the check right now.
Right.
You know?
Okay, so is comedians in your profile or like a photo of you at
Like on my
like doing
Hinge?
yeah, in your Hinge profile?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like director of partnerships at
Comma.
stand-up comedian or something like that. I mean,
What?
I get, yeah, because I can't put the whole thing. Like on Instagram, I say comedian and my pronoun's it. And that's about as far as I go into it.
Can I give you a recommendation?
Yeah, please.
So your title at your day job is director of partnerships?
Yes.
Okay. Keep that in there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't write comedian. That's confusing. But then have a picture of you
Doing stand-up.
Doing
Of course. Do you want to see my Hinge?
We can definitely do that.
I would now?
I fear if we do that,
tell
we're not
me-
going to do anything else.
May-
Not saying it's that bad.
maybe we'll circle back to it at another point.
Well, yes. Okay.
I one time had a picture of a video of me eating a Peter Luger's bone, like with my hands. You have to. If you got a porterhouse, you have to finish it with your hands. And I didn't realize this, but like it's a T-bone, and like I literally had it up for probably 4 years, and it never
God.
crossed my mind. So people already think I'm gay. Like they look at me, they're like, "Oh, he's obviously." I'm like, I'm just like, I'm outgoing,
Yeah.
and like, forget it. People are like, you know, that looks like a dick, this bone, and I'm like,
Oh my God.
this has been on my dating profile for 10 years probably at this point, so I just had to take it down.
I think that was a good decision.
Yeah, but it's like that's me being me.
Fair.
You know,
Fair. But when someone's making a really quick, like 3-second snap judgment of if they want to go on a date with you or not, and if like when people are looking at it, it's not just do I want to go on a date with him? It's like, could this be the person I marry? Which is wrong.
Yes.
But that is like in the back of their head.
Oh, of course. Of course. Absolutely.
You got to pull out all the stops that make you come across the most appealing.
Maybe one day, we'll do a review.
Yes, we will. We will. I'm confident we will. But today, we are here to talk about not your Hinge profile.
Mm-hmm.
I have a ton of questions that listeners sent in. You guys sent in amazing questions, so thank you,
everyone.
And Ryan here came with a ton of questions of his own. So
I'm just going to jump in out of nowhere sometimes.
Great. What is your biggest bone to pick with modern dating?
I don't know if it's like a bone to pick. I guess two separate things. One, I think because of COVID, it's way more difficult to meet people in person. Even myself, I find that I used to just like chit chat with strangers left and right, like, which maybe is a little bit of a red flag, but just being outgoing, you never know like what conversation happens. But I'm way less likely to do that now for whatever reason. It's just like I'm way more reserved, I find it. I mean, I would also say I think the real bone would be because of the dating. It really has just changed the way I think people like reciprocate communication, whether it's like in person, over text. You see someone for like 5 dates, then they never get back to you ever again.
You never hear from them.
Yeah, so I think it's just like the normalizing, like the ghosting, the never really seeing anyone if you have plans, stuff like that.
So you wish it could go back to before, like striking up conversations, or no?
Yes, I mean, I love working from home, so it's like COVID had some good things, like respect everything that happened. But yeah, I think it's just like people are on different pages in terms of like what they should be, how they should be like communicating.
Yes, however, if it's something that you want to do, you are the one in control of doing it or not doing it.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's part of it's like, so one of the things I was going to say, like pickup lines, right? I've never used a pickup line in my life.
Nor should you.
I don't think I ever will. But then it's like, if I'm at a bar, the only time I've ever really like met people at a bar that ended up working out, we go on some dates, so be it, which is great. It's like you can go on a couple dates with someone. If it doesn't work out, like that's fine. It's a learning experience. I will never use a pickup line, but if I'm like around and I hear something and I can think of something funny, boom. That's my personal, like how I can start up a conversation with someone. But then it comes up that I'm a comic and they're like, oh my God, stop. Like, tell me a joke. It's like, what am I supposed to tell them a joke about? Like banging my grandma? Like, oh, what are they going to think about that? It's like so ridiculous. So it's a weird, I don't know. It's very weird. And the worst from a guy's point of view, I'm sure you've heard this before. It's like if you're in a bar and there's a group of like 5 women, but you're only interested in one of them. It's like, how do you
a group of 5 women
happen?
at a bar, first of all, is the most unapproachable thing on the planet.
Correct.
Like,
Thank you for saying that.
It is, if you are going out with your friends and you are a woman and you are hoping to meet somebody, it is not going to happen if anywhere from like 4 to 10 of you are like in a circle or, standing at the bar together. Like, that's not going to happen.
It's always the circles.
Yes, it's always the circles. And half the people are on their phones anyway. It is the least approachable thing on the planet. If you want to put yourself in the position to be approached, you have to be approachable. You have to be by yourself or with 1, 2, absolutely at the most. Your phones have to be down. You can't be closed off. Maybe the 3 of you could be like sitting in a row at a bar or standing, but you cannot be like in a triangle. You have to be looking around. You have to be like, no one's going to want to approach you if your arms are crossed, you're like staring at your Instagram feed and they can't even find a way in.
Right. Yeah.
Period.
Triangle would be better. Triangle would be a little better.
Better than a circle.
Better than a circle.
Yeah. But still, no.
Needless to say, I've had very little attempts and success.
Can I give you a tip?
Please.
I think if you are out and you meet someone and you're talking casually and the comedian thing comes up and they say like, tell me a joke.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say.
No, but if someone says like, oh, tell me a joke, and it's like you're not on a date with them yet, or even if it's over an app, be like, that's we saved that for the date.
Yeah, well.
Like, let's grab drinks and then you can see.
Most women will say like almost immediately, and granted, it might just be to like start a conversation, which I completely understand. Like, hey, like, when are we going to a show? Like, can I get invited? And most of the time I'm like, let's get drinks at least a couple times. Because I'm not, it feels very narcissistic to be like, oh yeah, come to my comedy show.
Yeah.
Like, at the same time, other people have said like, no, of course, it's what you do. It's like, we want to see that. So
I feel like that's really intimate.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. And then genuinely, it's like, what I say on stage is not who I am in real life.
Right.
So it's like,
then people can get kind of confused between comic you and you.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, like I had a really good time on the date and I felt like we were connecting, but then he said this thing that like really rubbed me the wrong way.
So it's happened. It's happened mostly when it comes to like, you know, my routine and stuff is based on real life, but it's very sarcastic.
Yeah.
Very exaggerating. Where like I'll bring up stories about women, whether it's that I've dated or that I've noticed. And like, I've been in serious relationships where the woman's like, I don't like hearing you talk about these other girls. I'm like, it's fake. Like that's not a real person. So like you don't have anything to worry about. But
or the fear that like, oh no, if things go south, I'm gonna be the next person he jokes about.
That's how people start too on the apps.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you're gonna talk about me? I'm like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
What do I
that was me too when I was dating with a dating podcast. And when I was dating and I was running Hinge's social media, I joked with somebody. He was like, are you going to talk about me on Hinge on Instagram? I'm like, oh, I'm actually live tweeting our date right now. And he's like, shut up. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And he was like, oh, I thought that'd be awesome. But most people, it like definitely did rub them the wrong way.
It's also, you're not that interesting, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, respectfully.
Exactly. Okay, let's get into some of the questions. We'll start with some of the light ones, and then we have some scenarios. Again, these are like
I feel like you should mix in the light and the heavy.
Okay. What do you want to start with? Player's choice.
Let's start light.
Light. Okay.
Let's start light.
What are your red flags when you are dating women?
Like,
what do you
specific
look for?
to me, or a red flag for the person that I'm dating?
What, when you are going on dates, like, what jumps out as red flags to you? What are you hoping?
About the person that I'd be going out with. Great question. One would be, and I think this is actually something relatively common that I've heard from like my friends who are single as well. Kind of goes back to the communication part of things. In a world now where, like, let's say I meet someone on the apps, the whole relationship starts like over texting. Mm-hmm. And then if the tone of the conversation changes, the frequency in the conversation changes, it almost feels like it needs to be addressed, even if everything is okay.
Yeah.
So I think just like, honestly, even like a little over communicating is huge. So if someone's like very cut off, doesn't seem to be really willing to like, I don't want to say like be upfront, but like be super honest about the situation, I think that's huge. I think like not asking the guy questions is huge. Mm-hmm. Like I've been on a couple dates recently where, don't get me wrong, I'm doing more of the talking, but they literally have no questions like whatsoever. Or it's like, what are we doing here? Right. It's like, this isn't like, essentially I'm just like buying you a few drinks and then like we're never seeing each other again.
Right. Like a date is for both of you to get to know each other.
Yeah.
And that it's like you're talking to a wall.
I mean, a wall wouldn't cost me $150. So it's like,
is that, would you say, like, is that the average cost of a first date?
Well, so question for you. What do you think, if you're just getting drinks, which I think very normal first date, what's standard? Like, how many drinks?
I think 2 is
that's
an appropriate, respectable, and respectful, and safe amount for a first date.
Yeah. I think it also depends where you are. And I'm never going to be like, oh yeah, like let's keep, I'm not going to try to get anyone drunk.
Yeah.
But I've been on dates where the woman is like, oh yeah, like, well, let's have another couple. It's like, okay.
Right.
Like, sure. And then it doesn't go anywhere. But I think, those are the 2 only big bones, I would say. But I also think it's just like a symptom of everything that's going on right now. Do
you factor in, like, when you are choosing where to take someone on a first date or a second date, like, do you factor in, like, oh, I'm like super attracted to this person, or oh, I feel like
These are cool glasses.
Thank you. Anthropologie.
I didn't realize the orange is on.
They're the Anthropologie icon glasses.
We're sipping mimosas.
We are having mimosas. I
didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're great. I have no idea what I was saying. Yes, I do. Okay. If you're like, oh, I'm super attracted to this person, or I feel like more drawn to this person, I'm gonna step it up and do a nicer, more expensive place versus someone who you're like about. Would you do like a more just like a random bar?
I mean, I think it's a totally fair question. I feel like it's dangerous to do that like off the bat.
Yeah.
Just because like you don't know them and they don't know you. So it's like, I don't know, you want to do something that you want to go somewhere you know you like. Hopefully they like, if there's any issues, like ideally they would say, oh, I don't love that place. Can we go somewhere else? Which is like, I don't think that's obnoxious. I think that you're just being like honest about it.
I think it's so much better to say like, if you've been to a place with an ex and you're like traumatized by it, or you got food poisoning, like say it. You should say it, go to somewhere else and then not have to worry about it the entire time.
Yes, 100%.
What makes you swipe right on someone's profile besides looks?
It's a really good question. It is I was literally just talking to my mom about this because my mom's like, oh, I want to set you up with the neighbor's cousin and this and this. I'm like, Mom, like and all I know is literally all I can really see, which is not, and that's not, I'm really not trying to sound like shallow, but it's not like Love is Blind. That's kind of all you can really go off of. But I would say, I think things like, if they have things in their prompt, one, that are just funny. Mm-hmm. Like if there's anything that like,
if you actually like read something and laugh,
that's
an awesome sign.
Yes, even if like I didn't think I'd necessarily be so attracted to the person, it's like if I'm actually laughing right now, it's like why would I not say like let's go get a couple drinks and just see what happens? So I would definitely encourage people like don't be so cookie cutter on the apps. Like, oh, I'll fall for you if you trip me. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, what are you talking about? Like, if you're going to do something like that, you might as well say like, I'll fall for you if you push me down the stairs, something like that. So I think like creative, would never, but like creative prompts or like unique things that you like to do. I honestly do think like go a long way.
Yeah, I agree. They have to actually say something about you.
Yeah.
Like that is the point of a prompt. The point of a prompt isn't to be like super cliche and say the same thing that 1,000 other people are saying.
Yeah.
I do remember like before I was more in the know. Like before I worked at Hinge, honestly, I would see someone say something and it like sounded really smooth and like fun. And I was like, oh, I'm going to steal that and put that on my profile. But it says nothing about me. Like that's not going to make anyone want to go on a date with me. Like it doesn't mean anything.
It's plagiarism.
Yeah.
You're a plagiarist going out with a plagiarist.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I admit.
Do you consider yourself like an expert in like...
I'm a dating expert. I'm a dating coach. I'm a dating expert.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, so question for you.
Answer.
Sponsored by Confusion.
Okay.
Sponsored by Confusion. And this happened to me. This happened to people I know. Situation where probably, let's say it starts on the apps. Mm-hmm. Texting, it's going well. Having some great conversations. Set up time for a date. They never get back to you. Ever. And it happens a lot. And I was just speaking to one of my girlfriends about it where she's very outgoing too. We have very similar personalities and we're both single. And we think it's because we'll send like 3-4 texts in a row, but like thinking in a train of thought, not like a super like aggressive anything. Right. But at the same time, it's like, if that's who you are as a person, what am I going to like not do it just because like I want to see this individual?
I agree.
Walk me through that. Okay. What do you think?
There are a few things that could happen in this situation. One, they have been going on a bunch of dates with other people and something just progressed with somebody. And
cross this one off
they
the list.
Don't have the communication skills to, or they just like don't really care enough to properly articulate that to you. And we've all been there where we've gotten a work email or we've gotten a text and we're like, okay, I need to respond to this. I'm going to respond to this. I don't really know what to say right now, so I'm going to respond to this later. And then later comes and it's like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah. There's no rush. And then tomorrow comes and it's like, shit, I still don't know what to say. I'll do this after my meeting. Yeah. And then the more time that goes on, the more it becomes awkward to respond and you feel bad for not responding. And then you just leave it there and you don't respond. That, I think, happens probably 50% of the time.
Yeah, that's fair. And then I've done this. And again, my friend, I know she does it. Even my guy friends, it's like, then I think, and I've gotten these texts before. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean to. Where it's like, hey, we had a good conversation. Or even with people that I know I've like gone on dates with people 4 or 5 times. Like they've never even hooked up. When then it's like, hey, like, we seem to have good chemistry, like,
what's going on?
like, and then they still don't get back to you. In my opinion, that's just like, you got out. Like, it's probably for the best, but that
I agree.
happens.
That's what I would suggest to do, is to like follow up and either say like, hey, just checking in, like, are we still on? If not, that's okay, just let me know.
Right.
And if they don't answer, then that no answer is your answer. It gives them the opportunity to answer, and hopefully they will. But I also think it's okay to say, like, if you are like a few dates along with someone and then, you know, things are starting to fizzle, I think it's actually a really great thing to say like, hey, I just wanted to check in with like where you're at. I know I was having a great time on our dates, but I feel like something has maybe changed a bit. Just wanted to see like if you're still interested in seeing each other again. Like, let's plan drinks for next week.
Right.
Otherwise, like, if you're not, that's totally okay. I would just rather know.
Yep.
Because then
And
you
then they
get
don't
your
answer.
answer. Or exactly. Then you
Most
tried,
of the times they do not answer.
and you know what? That's fine. You tried. You did everything you could. You can close the door, and it's not personal. Like, it feels like the most personal thing in the world, but I bet you've done it to other people.
I have.
Uh-huh.
The older I've gotten, I've been much, much better about, even if it's like a first date, which I don't know if it's totally necessary. Curious your thoughts on this. Sponsored by not ghosting,
Love.
by Aliving.
Great sponsor.
Like, you go on a date with someone.
Yeah.
And you didn't, even if it went well or it didn't go well, you send them a text like, hey, look, like, had a good time, but I don't think this would really be going anywhere. Like, good luck with everything. Is it necessary?
It's not necessary, but I think it's the right thing to do.
Sure.
Because
And I've done that.
it's very likely that they are waiting they had a great time and they do want to see you again. And they are waiting and waiting and waiting to hear
Right.
from you. And it's making them really anxious. And we've all been in that position. And yeah, it stings for a second or a minute or an hour when we get that anti-ghosting text. But then it's a weight off of our shoulders and we can move on.
Yeah, at least everyone knows.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know guys, like, it's exactly what you just said. Like, if a woman sent that too, it's like, at least we know.
Yeah.
Low key, because guys, I think, and maybe this is even growing up with a woman my age,
Which I'm curious how that's impacted
seen
you.
all the spectrum of everything. Like, guys can really overthink this stuff as well, but I think most people think it's just like women all the time. But like, we're the ones that are supposed to be initiating plans, making the moves, being more aggressive. So then when nothing's reciprocated, it's like, what am I supposed to like keep trying?
What do you overthink the most in your dating life?
I would say it always goes to like the communication part of things.
Yeah.
Like, how like bought in are the people. So like, for example, even when we were texting, like, one of the questions I asked was like, because this is it's happened to me, I know it's happened to other people I know, men and women, like, it's going really well, and then someone asks to be exclusive, and like one of the parties says no. It's almost like, to me, I don't want to say like it's a red flag because everyone has different experiences. And this would not be after like 2 weeks of dating, you know, after 3-4 months or something. It's like just being overly communicative about like how you're feeling. And I think, especially in a world where everything's over text, you could read one text one way and I meant it completely differently, where it's like, oh my God, spirals out of control. I would say that's my number one. In a way, I would almost rather like Snapchat, texting, all of that didn't even exist.
1,000%.
Because then it's just like, my dad's in his 70s. He was like, I used to like literally see a woman like once a month, and we would say we were like dating, and we'd speak on the phone like every week. I was like, that sounds terrible, but
like it sounds better.
It's romantic. Yeah,
It sounds
I'm sure.
better, honestly. Okay, so I have my thoughts about this, and I did put a question box up and ask people about this. I said, where'd it go? Nope, this is the one that I
Well, can I ask you one while you're looking?
Yeah.
Okay, sponsored by Colors.
Colors?
What am I supposed to walk me through why women change their hair color so often and how that happens?
So
Like, what if I just showed up with we're dating, I'm bald the next day. Like, I shaved my head. Because they don't ask. I've never been asked.
So you've been like seeing somebody and then all of a sudden you see
To
them.
be honest, no, but like, I know my friends have done it, and like girlfriends who like have asked me for dating advice are like, yeah, I'm like going blonde. I'm like, do they know that? Like, no, but like, it's me. I don't care. So I'm genuinely curious.
That's really
about
funny.
It.
I don't think people factor in how it's going to impact their dating lives. I think it's something that, you know, a girl wants a change and wants to do something fun and different. And this is like a very low stakes thing of that. Because if it doesn't work out, you can always dial it back. And if it does work out.
Is it low stakes? It feels high stakes. Not for dating. I'm saying like just for like
But of all the
personally.
personal changes you can make, it's something that is like in your control.
Yeah, sure.
It's something that you were actively deciding to do. You can go one day and do it. It doesn't hurt.
Right.
It's expensive, but not that expensive. You're not like getting a nose job one day or like.
Yeah. Is it easy to just reverse?
I mean, it's definitely like mentally exhausting. Because,
right. Yeah. That's why I think it's more mental than anything.
If you're doing it again, I don't know many people who did it and then like immediately reversed it.
Right.
I think it's something that like it's just a way of expressing yourself.
Sure. I'm
not somebody who changes my hair color all the time. I did have a phase where I went blonde-ish. And I do think about doing it again. I don't know why I think about doing it again.
Sure.
I'm
Well,
just like, it could be fun.
that's the root of it. Yeah.
It could be fun and different.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think people are thinking about their profile. I do agree. It would be quite jarring if you went on a like 2 or 3 dates with a guy and then they showed up and they were bald.
Right.
Or
even you're dating a woman.
Big haircut.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But hopefully you're focusing on other things.
100%.
Connection.
I completely agree.
Hair grows back.
I agree.
Hair grows back.
I agree. But like you said, jarring.
Unexpected.
Which also isn't always a bad thing.
No, it's not. Okay. Back to your question, when somebody, if you ask to be exclusive and she's like, I'm not ready or no.
Yep.
Okay. I think if you're 3 to 4 months with somebody and you're asking to be exclusive and they're not ready, they're never going to be ready.
Right.
I think the best way to avoid this is to have open and constant communication from the start of like what you're looking for and have these conversations in a way where it's like not are we exclusive or are we boyfriend girlfriend, but it's like I am having so much fun with this and no pressure on you. I just wanted to let you know where I'm at. Like I'm deleting my apps. Like, I really want to see this through. Like, if you're feeling the same, amazing. If you're not, like, that's okay too. I would like to know, like, where you're at with it, but I'm really excited to keep exploring this further.
Right.
I think it has to be more just like an ongoing conversation, like a two-way street. Like, I remember, me and Jake became exclusive, like, I think it was on our sixth date, and I kind of felt like
that's quick. That's awesome. I mean, obviously it worked out.
It was probably like 6 weeks in. Like I think we were very much like one date a week at first. I do remember thinking like, oh, I was not expecting him to ask that, but I was so pleasantly surprised.
Sure.
I was like, because I was looking for something serious, and this was the biggest green flag to me of like, oh, so is he.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's see this through. But then a month went by, and like. We started hanging out a lot more and things started progressing a lot more. And the whole time I'm like, he like jumped the gun with this exclusivity thing. Like, when is he going to ask me to be his girlfriend? And so like a month or so later, I turned to him like, are you going to ask me to be your girlfriend already or what? And he's like, oh, I thought you were my girlfriend. And that's the problem because everyone has a different definition of what exclusive is, what deleting the apps means. Like someone could delete their apps, but does that mean what if they meet someone at a bar?
Yeah.
You never know. So I think it has to be like an ongoing conversation of, how you're both feeling and what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Like if someone is not ready to be exclusive 3 to 4 months in, you're probably not looking for the same thing.
Yeah, it's fair.
And I would imagine there are very few scenarios where someone says, I'm not ready to be exclusive, but then later is.
Yeah, I've been that person.
Who's not been ready?
Yes.
And why were you not ready?
This specifically, I was in college.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Little different. But no, I think the older you get, like...
But you were in college, and by saying I was in college, you didn't want to be exclusive.
No, right.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you weren't going to change your mind. More time with this person was not going to change your mind.
You got to be, I think, like you just said, like, even if it feels a little early to have a sort of conversation, like, especially when it's like a hard conversation to have.
Yeah.
The sooner the better.
100%.
Like, because it could go well, and if it doesn't, like, then you guys both know, and it's mutual.
Yep.
Can we do one of these scenarios again?
What?
Do you have another scenario?
I'm going to give you a long one.
Oh boy.
Ready for it?
Here we go.
Okay. There's this guy
Alrighty,
I've matched
Barkley.
with 3 separate times over the past year. Each time we
Classic.
exchange a few messages, he seems super engaged, asks great questions, compliments my profile, and even brings up the idea of meeting. Then, nothing.
Just the idea of meeting. Isn't it so crazy? That's where we're at. Just the idea
idea
of
of-
possibly thinking about the idea of meeting.
What else are we doing here? Either he disappears mid-convo or stops replying right before we're about to actually make plans. I'm trying not to take it personally, but like, why match again if you're just going to ghost again? Are you swiping for the ego boost? Is it indecision? Do you forget? I genuinely want to understand what's going on in a guy's mind when this happens. This is funny to me because I definitely remember it's like the people you see over and over and like continue to match with. It's like, are they even a
Yep.
real person?
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, well, there were definitely people being like, oh, like, here's Alana again.
Oh boy, here
Yep.
we go. Hey, how are you?
Yep.
That's great. Good to see. I mean, I think one I will say, and I think, you know, this entire podcast is about uniting everyone. You know, it's not going back and forth. It's not a debate.
Nope.
This has definitely happened to me. I've done it. It's happened to me with women before too. I would say honestly, one probably is a bit of an ego boost. Like, what are dating apps if they're not just like
Validation
a
on
way
steroids.
for you to know who within 5 miles of you might think you're hot in
Yeah.
real life, you know? Like, that's about it. And then look, I think there also have been times where you're talking to someone in the apps, like you get their number. And honestly, it's like for whatever reason, whether it's like you're not as ready to actually start going out with this person or stuff just comes up like in your life where it's not necessarily like if I just got someone's number on an app and then a shitload of stuff comes up in my life, it's like, am I really going to text them
But you're
and say,
busy.
right, and say, hey, by the way, I know I just got your number. I'm super busy. Like, maybe see you at some point.
Actually, I do like that.
No,
I do
like,
think that's a good
yeah,
idea to do.
Yeah, which is fair. And I just think it's one of those things where if you're doing it over and over again, specifically with the same person, you have to say that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, I don't know what.
Yeah,
we're
I think
doing.
at one point, I think the best thing to do in this situation is the next time this happens for anyone, be direct, be like, so are we going to keep matching and not meeting, or should we just put drinks on the calendar for next week and figure out
Yeah.
if we're into each other?
Yeah.
Like, be direct and then move on with your lives.
Yeah, no, I do honestly. I think something too that I speak for every guy when I say this, and this is
Ooh.
coming right from the top,
Do tell.
right from Chalamet. If women are more like direct about like when they would want to go out, what they might want to do, even at a bar, like I know it's supposed to be like the guy's approaching you or this and that. Like obviously I think a guy should be paying for the majority of the dates too, but like I'm telling you that really goes such a long way. One, it makes you unique. Two, it shows the guy who might be feeling insecure about approaching you that like maybe you're interested, which would then like open everything else up. Something to keep in mind, because I'm telling you, it really is hard for a guy to do it. Like we said, like I would never approach a circle of death, 5 women. Like I would literally melt. I would rather melt. Like, so I think it shows like confidence. They know what they're looking for. They know what they want to do. It would go a long way. Even on the apps.
Women should make the first move.
I'm not going to say should. I won't say
Women
should.
can. It's encouraged by men for women to make the first move.
Yeah, it's chill. Yeah, it's chill. It'd be cool. It's not like I don't think anyone's looking for it, but I know that there are opportunities, just like with guys, where it's like if a woman is attracted to a guy, but they're just waiting for him,
Mhm.
but like she's in a circle of all her friends, he's not going to come over most likely.
Yeah.
And it's like guys, for the most part, what are we doing at a bar? We're just like talking about sports, drinking beer, like probably pretty approachable looking, if I have to imagine, depending what we're doing. And I think that would go, like I would say success rate would be way higher for a woman doing that than a guy doing that.
Do you think a woman?
I probably sound like such a bitch.
No, you don't. No, this is good. This is what people want to hear. Do you like when a woman texts you first? Do you care? Are you like, oh, she texted me first, ew, or are you
So
like,
like
oh,
what? Definitely wouldn't say you. Definitely
Yeah.
wouldn't say you. Like by,
like you
by
go
no
on
means.
you go on a first date with somebody, you have a second date planned, and like you haven't talked since Tuesday, and it's Wednesday night, and they text you.
No, that's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think texting, again, because everything's from Hinge and just the way of the world now, I think texting is very dangerous because it's like, it's not healthy to talk to someone all day, every day.
Agreed.
Where then it's like, and this is something that I've thought about, where it's like you start seeing someone, you're kind of getting to the rhythm of talking like pretty much every single day, hours on end. Like that's not sustainable. Like if that's just, it's gonna like crumble at some point. So it's like, I think it's a good thing. Like don't talk for a day or two. Like nothing's really changed. If anything's changed, they should tell you. Here's a pivot. Let's say you're dating someone, sponsored by wanting to do your thing. Let's say this is a very guy-centric example, but I'm sure you could relate it to things that you women would want to do as well. Let's say like you're on the phone with the person you're dating, both in your separate apartments, not really doing much. And I'm kind of just like, all right, like it's 10 o'clock. Like I want to just like go take a gummy and like play video games and go to bed. I don't think I can say that to the girl, just saying like, so yeah, I'm going to hang up and I'm going to go play video games and like, I'll talk to you tomorrow or like the next day.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
and
agree.
for a woman, it'd be because like, but then if a woman was like, you know, a lot of women I talk to love true crime, for example. Crazy. I don't know how people relax to that, but they're like, yeah, I'm going to go watch this man that murdered 15 women. Like, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And I'd be like, great. That's awesome. Like, do your thing. But I don't think I could really do that.
I think you're safer saying, I'm going to go to sleep
Well,
early.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
I'm too honest.
I'm super into the show that I'm watching, recommend show, like gotta finish this episode and go to bed.
No, stay up. Let's FaceTime. I'll watch it with you.
I've been loving the book I'm reading lately.
Yeah. Oh no, I have the audiobook. You know, it's like nonsense.
I'm tired.
Yes.
That's all you need to say.
Yes,
I'm tired.
Exactly.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Exactly. Well, I also think it's important because that is a little bit of an insight into like what it would be like being with someone. You know what I mean?
Yes and no. Because in the early stages, it's so anxiety filled as you're starting to get to know each other, where like so many things could be seen as a red flag, or so many things could make you internalize something based on your past dating experiences, when in reality, like you said, like you may mean one thing and it might be interpreted completely differently. So I think like, yes, later on you could be like, oh, this did happen early on, maybe I should have paid more attention to that, because now I'm seeing that a lot more.
Sure.
But I think that's not going to be the case for all the things. Like I do think like Jake plays Xbox all the time. I do think, you know, if it was early stages, the football one, college football.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, all the time.
Nice. Love that.
Not
But
all
like
the time,
that, but it's great that like he can do that, you know, and like you're cool with that.
But I think if we were like 3 dates in, he was like, I'm really tired, like I gotta go play with the boys.
No, not 3 dates.
I'd be
not
like,
3 dates.
Oh,
This is like serious with someone. At least in my example, it'd be like you're dating for like 6 months or something.
okay, then I think you should be allowed to do that.
Okay, love that.
I do think so.
For my
Because
future
it's so
misses, you heard that.
It's so important for people to have different hobbies. Like
Right.
I love going into the room and watching a show or reading while Jake's watching football or playing college football. And it's like everyone should be doing their own thing at times. Like you don't have to be each other's everything.
Yep.
But I also think, you know, there are times where there were relationships and situationships I was in the past where I was just so anxious that I would like cling on to them.
Sure.
Because in my eyes, I'm like, oh, well, if they're talking to me and we're like spending this time together, whether in person or virtually, then things must be good. And if they want any distance or time away is bad, is how I felt.
Yeah. That's a dangerous slope to slide down.
Without a doubt. It's a terrible place to be. Okay. We are going to do one or two more of these, and then we're going to have to do a part 2.
I'd love to.
Because there's so much.
I'd absolutely love to.
There's so much. You can be our single.
Can I ask one really quick?
Normal guy correspondent.
Really, really quick.
Absolutely.
This was the most popular question I got.
Oh.
And it's in reference to women suggesting like steakhouse dates for their first date.
Wait, what?
The question is.
This happens?
The question is, who do you think you are?
No.
I've seen it. I've seen it happen. Like, yeah.
What?
Like, yeah, let's go. Like, and it's on you. We're going to go to like Osteria, this or that. We're going to go to Peter Luger's. It's like, what are you talking about? No, we're not. Like, who do you think you are?
And you
Actually,
know what?
Like, such a red flag. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you're into, who you are. Like, I would never.
And that's all you need to know about
Right,
them.
exactly.
Because here's the thing. There are women who want to date people who are going to treat them, take them to the nicest, most expensive restaurants. And that's okay, because there are men who want to take a woman on a first date. I went on a first date to Tao, and I was like really intimidated by that.
Sure.
And I was like, this is crazy.
And you didn't suggest it.
I didn't suggest it.
Right.
And I was like, this is really crazy. And then like our next date was Soho House. Like, and I was like, this is like, I'm good going to the gym.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
It was like
Good burger.
It was a lot for me to handle, and like I think it was just an incompatibility, and that's okay. But no, I mean, I absolutely don't think that that's something that you should be.
It's not standard either.
No,
it's not standard.
No, but that should not be happening.
Yeah.
And it's also like the first date is just do me and this person have like a baseline attraction, and can
Right.
we have a conversation, and like
Yes.
did we laugh once or twice?
Mm-hmm.
It's not, are we soulmates, and are we gonna have like the best, most memorable first date ever?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, my first date with Jake was at Quality Eats, which was really nice, but it was during COVID where you couldn't get drinks somewhere because you had to eat. Remember, like you
yeah,
had
of
to
course,
order
of course,
food
yeah.
with
They had,
your
like, the
drinks.
Cuomo hot dog places.
So so we like had to go to a restaurant, and like I was like, wow, he picked like a really good restaurant that I like. Like that's really nice. But I would never be like, take me to Quality Eats on our first date.
Yes.
So-
It really doesn't happen often, but
Yeah.
this is a good way to slip in who do you think you are.
For sure, 100%. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Do you care if a girl sleeps with you on the first date?
Care like negative?
Do you judge?
No, I wouldn't judge. No, honestly, it's like I would not think more of them, less of
Okay.
them, totally indifferent. It's like if anything, I think it's very funny where like I've had conversations, whether it's like I'm gonna date with someone or again with just like my friends that are girls that were talking about it, where it's like, what does everyone say? It's like 3 dates, like that's the limit. That you know what it means. It's like if I'm super attracted to someone on the first date, like let's be real, within 5 minutes, you know if you're like sexually attracted to the person. Right. So like if you guys do end up sleeping together, like then it happens.
Yeah.
So and if it was amazing, great. I'm sure you guys are gonna want to happen again. If it sucks, you're never going to see each other again.
Right.
So it's like, and if anything, that one of my best girlfriends, one of the funniest things I've ever heard her say, which is on this topic, was like, the dating timeline is so backwards because technically it's like, you can go on 15 dates with someone, never hook up, finally hook up. It was unimaginably horrible. You're not going to see that person again. So it's like, let's just save some time. Let's get it done immediately.
Hold on. If you were really like connecting with this person and you felt like, personality match,
sure,
values match,
that's different.
Things we want in the future match, and then you sleep together and it's really bad.
How do you bring that up? That's the question. Because I think if you did like 99 out of 100 on the checklist, hit it, but it was bad like sexual chemistry, how do you bring that up? Because that is something to work on. You know, it's not like I'm never going to see this person again.
Okay.
Because that would be ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's something that you don't even have to bring it up at first because they probably feel it too, and like you both probably want to work on it. And maybe it was just an awkward thing. Maybe someone had too much to drink. Like who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it was an off day.
Yeah.
And hopefully, like you can get better. And if not, then you talk about it.
Right. But no, the first date, it's like if anything, obviously, if it was terrible, it was a first date. That's different.
Yeah.
Because you don't know the person too well. But then if it was great, like I'm sure that would then lead.
Yeah.
To more dates down the line. But no, I wouldn't judge either which way. I would speak for most men. I don't think most men are looking for that on the first date.
Right.
And if it just happens, it's like, then we really like obviously liked each other.
For sure. How do you think having a twin sister has impacted your dating life? And just the way you interact with women, the way you show up. Because you're mentioning you have a lot of girlfriends.
Yeah. Yes. All like from summer camp. So like.
Classic.
Not Jewish. And so I guess that's a little different because we've known each other since we're 9.
Yeah.
But I think especially having a twin, I mean, I'm sure she'd say the same for me. Feel like I've gotten a better understanding of like, how do I phrase this? Like
how neurotic we are.
Look, I didn't say it.
I said it for you.
I just think men and women are very different in a lot of different areas where.
Can you give me an example?
Pass.
Okay.
No. I'm kidding. I think more so when it comes to like, for example, if like we're arguing about something, like my reasoning might be one way and my sister's reasoning was another way, but we're like both not really willing to budge. So it's like, how do we work together to like find the common ground there? I'm like a completely open book. Like, I think even more than she might be, which is probably a little ironic. Most people would think it's the other way around. But I think just like one, like respecting how, like, obviously my sister, but like any woman is like feeling and like actually asking the questions about it, you know, not just like, oh, how are you? Like, great. What are you getting to drink? You know,
Right.
Obviously. So I would say like communicating more, definitely being patient, like don't make jokes about everything, which can be hard for me. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Yeah.
It does.
It was a weird answer, but
No, it's non-specific, but I get it.
well, because it's hard. It's hard
Yeah.
because it's also been 30 years.
Right.
So
A lot of life.
and we had a very different relationship when we were like 11 than we do
Oh, really?
now. You know, like
Yeah.
we would never hang out, and like now she lives in Chelsea. Like we see each other multiple times, minimum a month. We talk every day.
Yeah.
So it's just very different.
I love that.
Yeah.
Ugh, there's so much more. There's so much more.
We'll do
I
it
wanna
again.
talk to. We will. We absolutely, and we have to go through your profile.
Oh God, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Stay
Yeah.
tuned. It'll happen. Okay. Last question, and every single person who comes on Seeing Other People gets asked this. No pressure. What is the best piece of dating or relationship advice you've ever received or have to give?
Such a good question. Such a good question. I wish I had like a fortune cookie I could open and just read what was inside. What best piece of advice I think ever, which I think can apply to anything, was never take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from.
Yep.
Which I absolutely love. And then honestly, I would say, just like in general, and I think this actually comes directly from my sister, from my mom, from my dad, especially just like growing up. Like, if it's a hard conversation, have it like immediately. Like, be honest. It's gonna suck, even if it's very rarely as bad as you think it's gonna be. And in some cases, specifically with dating, it could end up being like the thing that catapults you into like your next serious relationship or something. So like, don't be afraid to have those like weird conversations, difficult conversations.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, one more because I can't not
Done.
ask this. On behalf of
all men everywhere,
yes,
including Barkley.
What do you want women to know? Like, what do you think they need to hear?
I would say like don't feel like you can't be more aggressive to a guy because you think a guy might be like turned off by something like that, because we're expected to be it, but like it's really hard to do it half the time, especially in like certain social situations. So like, fuck around. Like, it's not all that serious. Like, what's the worst that happens? Like, you guys don't connect, or you really, really impress him. He's like, I've never seen a woman do this before. Like, am I in love with this girl? Like, I'm telling you, it could happen. So I would say that.
Period. Drops mic. Ryan Kenny, thank you so much for being
Thank you, Lana
here.
Dunn. Thank you,
Where
Barkley.
can people find you? Yeah, Barkley was amazing. This was a top-notch performance
Really?
from Barkley. Yeah. Sometimes he's like chewing his bones really loudly. Sometimes he's like digging into the couch, can't decide where he wants to be.
I think he agrees with everything I said.
I think so too. I think you represented his thoughts very, very well. Where can people find you? Where can they see you? And where can they, again,
shout out to you.
slide
Do you
into
watch
your
Hot
DMs?
Ones?
No.
This is exactly how they end Hot Ones.
Oh, really?
They do it every single time.
Oh, well, this is how I mean, I don't not watch it. I know what it is. I've seen it.
Right.
But this is what, like, every single person does.
That's what, yeah, well, it's funny. I don't really watch podcasts or listen to
Yeah.
podcasts, and it's my job.
That's okay. I never listened
Instagram?
to one before starting one.
Right. No, I don't, like, it's so not a part of my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I just started following you.
Welcome.
Which is, I mean,
Happy to have you.
You're killing it. I mean, it's amazing. Instagram, _Ryan_Kenny, comic strip July 8th. Going to be doing a lot more shows around the city. So it'll be fun.
I'll try and have this come out before then so that
Sure.
people can hear
Yeah,
it.
that'd be great.
I will see that. Okay, amazing, Ryan. Thank you so much. And guys, stay tuned. Ryan will be back.
Done.
That is a promise.
Done. Love it.
Boom. Drops mic. Bye.